Yeah, we're asking people not to be violent, not to destroy our community. But in the same breath, we're asking to stand with the Blake family. Come on over here. We're not mad at you. We understand you're angry and upset. And we could see why you would want to burn something down, but we're asking you not to. That fist that you put up in anger, we're asking to raise up high in unity and come on board with the Blakes. We're going to make some big changes that affect all the little Jakes around this nation.
From what I witnessed over there, I was just driving up at a friend's house. Being a military war veteran, I thought the bullets was going through me. That's how bad it was for me, because I served in Vietnam, and it was, you know, like a flashback for me. So I didn't believe he was going to shoot him when I first saw him in his pose. I thought he was just trying to control the situation, and then I heard the first shot. I thought maybe it'd be a warning shot, and then I heard those. I heard the shots. Everywhere you look, you see it and you can feel it. You just keep growing and growing, and you try to develop skills to cope with it. But you know, sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't.
So they don't have the resources that usually come into other communities, help them out. So we have doctors and therapists here today. We're going to do some knocking on some doors and getting to know some of the community members and thank them for their love and support. We appreciate you sharing it with the world. The correct news is the right news, that our nephew was shot 7 times in the back. Nothing can justify that. He had no weapon, and he's paralyzed right now in the hospital. And our family is thanking everybody around the world for all their well wishes and prayers. And we're not gonna leave here.
I think the police need to go back to the drawing board. They need to be allowed to be retaught the things that they've been taught.
You think that we as African Americans don't support the police? That would be the wrong message to take from here.
Thank you.
We absolutely do. But damn it, when you hurt one of ours, calling yourself doing policing and shoot somebody 7 times in the back, do you think Kenosha residents approve of that? I think not. I think you just go knock on the door and just ask, what do you think about a young man getting shot 7 times in the back? Is that the type of policing you want in Kenosha? We don't want it in Chicago, New Jersey, North Carolina, Milwaukee, or anywhere.
It is not deemed too graphic for a black man to be shot 7 times in his back and broadcasted for the world to see. It is not deemed too graphic for my brother, Seville Smith, to be shot in his back unarmed.
Stop coming and running when little Jakes are bleeding in the street, as the young people say, leaking in the street. We want you to come to our communities, find good stories, and put them out around the world.
We've been out on the streets participating in a lot of peaceful Black Lives Matter protests since May 31st, since the George Floyd incident. We've been involved in organizing a lot of stuff with different groups and on the streets doing things. We haven't had any incidents of violence in Kenosha until the previous Back the Blue rally that David Clark spoke at.
I was punched in the face by 2 full-grown men trying to break up a fight.
Police could have left us alone, let people make their voices heard. But then when we got to the police station, when we marched over here, the riot cops came out, and it wasn't until then that the violence started.
My partner and I confronted militia people in Madison with concerns about their affiliation. They said they were with us to protect First Amendment protest rights, but they're all about the Second Amendment. And then after our conversation developed, they told us more about how if any property gets damaged, they see that as harm on them and that they'll start firing. We got their word that night that they weren't gonna fire if it was property damage. And we said, don't start no shit, won't be no shit, you know, like, do not fire on our people. There are people with guns in there too. We don't want that, don't do it. And the very next night was Kyle Rittenhouse.
I've been out here during the riots. I was a medic. I was helping people with broken arms from rubber bullets, with their eyes popping out of the sockets from rubber bullets. And we were carrying our supplies down the street. He was announcing that we were medics, and National Guard pulls up and they throw a tear gas canister right at his head as we're setting up a medic table. But then they're out here giving water bottles to white supremacists and telling them they appreciate them.
A white supremacist who killed someone I personally know, Anthony Huber, who was trying to save people.
Yes, rest in power.
And the police are letting vigilantes go out and shoot people. I mean, when are we going to put an end to the violence? Because it's not about like law and order if you're letting vigilante people walk around with machine guns and shoot people in the face. Our state governor is like communicating with Trump right now and accepting the National Guard here, so we get extra military when the police are already militarized.
That we were not a backdrop, but that today was about love and today was about unification. And to your question, if the president comes to us as a leader with solutions, with unification and not division, my sleeves are already rolled up to join him. But if we are a backdrop, I'm not joining his circus.
I mean, we have a president that is like the most abusive president in history. Then we have, on the other side, like not a perfect choice. Someone who doesn't want to defund the police. Someone who's not courageous enough to speak out about state violence on black communities, black and brown communities. We need way better leadership at the top.
Stand on your word. Be about what you're talking about. Don't use this just for an election time. Follow up. And don't just come here for publicities and PRs. Actually come and see these neighborhoods. Hold the actual owners of these apartment complexes accountable. Actually hold the city of Kenosha accountable when it comes to police, when it comes to sheriffs, when it comes to actually equality.
I'll be honest, justice and true. You can't lead us unless you love us, and you can't save us or help us unless you serve us.
I'm thinking some dark gray clouds will be flowing over here in a minute, but the sun's gonna come out. These children are having a great time in a bouncy house. I'm getting ready to go get in there with them. We brought love, baby.